Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. Next up, we're going to be talking about District Judge Sonya McKnight. Allegedly, she shot her boyfriend after he was trying to basically end the relationship. And shout out to the family. Love his channel. I'm going to let him break it down because I've been a little bit under the weather. As you can kind of tell, my voice is a little different. So let's just get into it.
When you keep the faith and trust him, he said, no good thing will I withhold from you. So I'm grateful to God on this day for believing in me and knowing that I did nothing wrong.
Investigating a shooting at a home in Susquehanna Township that left a man injured this morning. And officials say a suspended Harrisburg District Judge was there at the time.
About the arrest of a suspended Dauphin County District Judge now facing charges including attempted murder. Sonya McKnight is behind bars being held on $300,000 bail. Police say she shot her ex-boyfriend in the head. ABC 27 was there yesterday when McKnight was walked out of the Susquehanna Township.
Fix it, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Let's keep listening, y'all. See what happened. The story, like I said, was just unbelievable.
In the 2015 primary campaign, it captured the seat in the general election. Robert Jennings III had sought re-election, even while he was under investigation for misconduct. He later pled no contest to charges that he had strong-armed constables for campaign cash. But then just 4 years later, May 10, 2019, Sonya McKnight was put on leave after authorities had an investigation into whether she was justified in the shooting and wounding her estranged husband. At that time, Judge Sonya McKnight of Dauphin County was gone on paid leave. At that time, her husband was identified as Enoch McKnight, who was also at the home to help the judge move some furniture, according to accounts by relatives. But here's the thing. The year before, in October 2018, Sonya McKnight had received protection from abuse order from her husband. But in a change in effect at the time of the shooting, it allowed peaceful contact between them both. But some say that was Sonya just playing chess. Sonya McKnight obtained the order based on allegations that her husband had tried to pull her from the car when she was driving, causing her to crash into a fire hydrant. Her husband had pled guilty to simple assault in the car incident and was sentenced to time served of 15 days in jail in 2018. Yet and still, May 10, 2019, he decided to go help his estranged wife to move furniture. The shooting happened at 8:34 a.m. in the 2700 block of Lexington Street. Now, the police said they responded to a call regarding shots fired on Lexington Street. When officers arrived, they learned that a man with gunshot injuries already had arrived at the emergency room at a local hospital. At the time, the local police didn't want to release the identity of the people who was involved in the shooting or specify which hospital. Now, a neighbor had went to the news and quoted, "I heard a single gunshot. I saw a bunch of cops. I went back inside." But eventually she was let off the hook. In 2019, McKnight was cleared of charges after shooting her estranged husband in the groin, which investigators have ruled self-defense. But some would say that was strike one. But then
when they get away with doing stuff, they keep on doing the same thing.
Misconduct cases against Pennsylvania judges had claimed in a September filing that McKnight had violated probation from a previous misconduct case, centered her actions regarding a 2020 traffic stop involving her son. But she was acquitted of criminal charges in that matter in July 2021.
Great. I feel great. God is good. Yes, he's good. So I'm thankful and I'm grateful. Yes. God will he will intervene, but he will also vindicate you of all righteousness. When you keep the faith and trust him, he said, no good thing will I withhold from you. So I'm grateful to God on this day for believing in me and knowing that I did nothing wrong. And I thank God for my attorney that he sent my way all the way from Philadelphia. I thank God for you. I thank God for you believing in me. Yes, and my attorney said, thank you, Jesus. I love you. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to God.
And what's the next step for you, Judge?
Yes. I'm ready to take my seat back. I need to get back to the bench. I love my community. I want my seat. And the community has voted me back in. I've been going through a re-election, and I thank God for my community believing in me and saying, you know what? She deserves the seat. So I'm grateful. And thank you.
And Mr. McDonald, just a quick question. What do you think about this case coming into it? And
well, I mean, I honestly believe that this is one of those rare occasions where I've had an innocent client from the day I met her. She's a wonderful woman. She's a remarkable person. She's got love in her heart, and she didn't deserve this. And today, justice was served. And I'm just, it's kind of reinstored my faith in the justice system. It really has. When a good person like this is given the opportunity to receive a fair trial in front of a fair judge and be vindicated, and let the world know she's not only been cleared, she's innocent.
Now, some would say that was strike two. In 24, McCoy had came home to find McKnight in pajamas on the couch. But when he returned home from a restaurant, he told her that he planned on getting her mother to help get her out his home. And at that moment, Michael McCoy stated that it was like she finally understood it was over. He said he went to bed at around 11 p.m. before waking to a massive head pain and was unable to see. When he began to scream, McKnight allegedly told him, quote, "Mike, what did you do to yourself?" End quote. Mike had suffered a gunshot wound to the right temple that had exited his left temple. Police said Mike insisted to the police at the scene and later at the hospital that he did not shoot himself.
And was transported to the hospital after being shot earlier this morning. Thanks for joining us for Fox 43 News at 10. I'm Marshall Keeley. We begin tonight with developing news. Police are investigating a shooting at a home in Susquehanna Township that left a man injured this morning. And officials say a suspended Harrisburg District Judge was there at the time. Fox 43's Robert Stover joins us right now and shares what we know so far about the investigation.
Well, Marshall, officials with the Cumberland County District Attorney's Office confirmed they are investigating a shooting that occurred in Susquehanna Township before 1 a.m. this morning. Police responded to a home in the 200 block of Saddle Ridge Drive where they found a man shot and injured. The man was transported to a local hospital and his condition is unknown. Officials did not confirm the identity of the victim, but did confirm one other person was in the home at the time of the shooting. Suspended Harrisburg District Judge Sonya McKnight was confirmed to be in the home at the time of the incident, but officials have not confirmed to Fox 43 if she was involved. McKnight was suspended without pay in November of last year amid an investigation into allegations of misconduct that were filed against her by the Pennsylvania Judicial Court Board. Fox 43 reached out to Cumberland County District Office in Susquehanna Township Police for an update on the investigation, but did not receive a response. Now, Marshall, I also visited Susquehanna Township Police Department, but were not able to speak with anyone involved in the investigation.
Now, when Judge McKnight had called 911 shortly before 1 a.m. Saturday morning, she could not explain what happened and stated that she was sleeping and heard him screaming. However, investigators found doorbell videos from neighbors' homes that contradict McKnight's claim that she did not leave out the home the night of the shooting. Now, she eventually got arrested and was released on a $300,000 bond while authorities had investigated. But a year and 2 months later, Judge McKnight would be found guilty by a jury of attempted murder. Now, it's also important to note that the gun that was used was registered to the judge, and both of them said no one else was in the home at the time of the shooting. This was the state district attorney speaking on the verdict.
Is there a moment now that you can tell us this that you wondered whether they had raised enough doubt to meet that standard of reasonable doubt?
Hey, you know, I never like to jinx myself to say that I think I have a perfect case. So I will tell you, every time I walk into the courtroom, I am nervous, I am anxious, I am worried about everything that occurs in the courtroom. But no, I don't believe at any point in time I felt that there was anything in this case that took the focus away from where we wanted it to be, and that was on Mike McCoy. Things happen. I think in particular about the robe being dropped. The robe really wasn't relevant at all in the course of this trial, and I hope I addressed that during my closing argument.
Sean, when you talk about this case, you did not have that proof, so to speak, that somebody witnessing this happening. Was there concern that you may not be able to convince a jury in that particular regard?
No, I don't think there was ever a concern on our part that we wouldn't be able to convince a jury because there was no eyewitness to the actual crime. I I think what I talked about in my closing is using your common sense. That's what I urge the jurors to do. There were 2 people in that house, and only 2 people in that house, and one of them, the one who was shot, said he did not shoot himself. The logical conclusion is the other person did it, and I'm glad the jury ultimately saw the truth in that statement, and they found her guilty on all charges here today.
Can you give us any indication how the McCoy family is feeling at this moment?
Relieved. You know, I've been doing this for a while, and I'll tell you, as I'm waiting for the verdict, I'm very nervous. I'm pacing around. It's a stressful time. They are certainly very much relieved that they're finally getting some justice here. You know, the justice system does not move very fast. You know, it took over a year to get to this point in time. Mike still has a lot of healing to do. He still has, you know, when you look at him, it doesn't look like he's dealing with anything, but really, physically, he's permanently impaired, and I'm sure mentally, he's dealing with very, very serious issues.
Do you think it says anything that a district judge was not above the law?
Well, you know, as a prosecutor, I have prosecuted so many different professions, police officers, now a district judge. You know, I don't think anybody should be above the law. I think the law should be applied evenly and equally across the board. And that's the way that I've always proceeded with any cases that I've been involved with, and that's how I intend to continue.
Where does this one rank among cases? You coming over to this county to prosecute because of all the dynamics, because of her notoriety? You've prosecuted a lot of cases. Where does this one fit in with them?
I enjoyed my time coming back here to Dauphin County. I worked here for 30 years before I went across the river. I live in Cumberland County and had an opportunity to become district attorney. I love the Cumberland County District Attorney's Office. It was nice coming back here to visit, but I don't plan on quitting my day job. I'm going back across to Cumberland County. You saw I have a fantastic staff over there. You saw my first assistant district attorney, Courtney Hare LaRue, do an excellent job really just dismantling the defense expert in this case. And that's the kind of staff that I have over there and the quality of work that I expect as district attorney, and I'm sure the citizens of Cumberland County expect.
And forgive me if you've already addressed this. I mean, the jury was only deliberating for less than 2 hours. I mean, what do you think that says about, you know, your work in this case, the case that you had, and how often, you know, is that common to see less than 2 hours pretty quick?
Well, you know, as the person arguing to them that she's guilty, anything more than 5 minutes makes me nervous. Actually, in my experience, the amount of time that this took was actually pretty much an average amount of time. And it really shows that the jurors were paying attention. They were paying attention, and they took this job seriously. They didn't just have a knee-jerk reaction, go, fill out the form, and come downstairs. They gave it some thought, and we really appreciate all the work that this jury did in this case. Okay?
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the process in which who determines?
Now, fam, at this pace, we just gotta wait and see how this play out. It's a very unfortunate
Yeah, so sorry
situation,
under the weather, but definitely had to get the story out. Thanks to the family. He does very good stories. Definitely check out his
you get in the same
content.
scenario not once but twice, it makes you look back and see, was that intentional as well? Fam, let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. This was the judge, charged with attempted murder a year some change later after shooting her boyfriend in his sleep in his own home, allegedly. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And to then,
Definitely check out the family. I love his content. But like I said, my voice, I'm a little under the weather, y'all. But I definitely had to get this story out here. It, once again, bothered me. And I've always said this from jump. Once people start getting away with doing something wrong, they continue to get worse and worse and do the same thing, but a little more maliciously. And as you see that right here in this situation, she got away with killing one of her other ex-boyfriends, ex-husbands, and she was trying to do the same thing here when he decided to end the relationship. So, like I said, Sometimes people have a pattern. If you check it out, if they get away with lying, they're going to continue to do it. They get away with this and that, they may continue to do it. Definitely pray for his family. Condolences to everybody who lost their life in this situation. All right, like and subscribe. Bye, y'all.